Hi, good evening, students. This is Deepanshu Agrawal from Mindworks, obviously. So, this session is in the continuation with the sessions that we generally conduct, in which I give you some of the questions to as a short assessment. So, as you can see, there are six questions on your screen. Uh, the time limit for each questions would be 2 minutes. So there is an overall time limit of 12 minutes for these six questions, right? So in those 12 minutes, in these you have to solve these six questions, and you have to assume that this is a practical examination. You have to be exactly according to as you do in the exam hall. So it's 11:01. Let us start at 11:02, and we will continue till 11:40. So you will get a time from 11:02 to 11:14, right? You should have a copy and a pen with you so that you are able to solve these questions, right? So I think it's 11:02. Then so we can start. Okay. So six questions, 12 minutes. At the end of the 12 minutes, I'll give you the answers as well as the solutions. Okay. Right. Go for it. Those who would be watching this as a recording shall treat this as a live video only. Right. Uh, do not try to pause the video for an extra time, because this is a practice session, and in a practice session you should be very true to yourself, right? If you cheat in the practice session, then there's no point of having the practice sessions. So exactly 12 minutes and exactly six questions you have to do. All right, go for it. Do not if you are watching as a recording, please do not please do not stop, please do not pause the video in between. Please do not uh, run the video at a faster rate. Okay. Yeah. Good evening, Antonio. Six questions, 12 minutes, Antonio. 1 minute is already gone. Go for it. Quickly. Good evening, Nandlal. As you can see on the screen, there are six questions. For these six questions, you are getting 12 minutes to solve. So be ready with your copy and pen and start the questions. 2 minutes are already gone. Those who have just joined, this is a live assessment. This is a short live assessment session. Six questions, 12 minutes. Out of that, 3 minutes are already gone. So start as quickly as possible. Those who have just joined, it's a live assessment session. 6 questions, 12 minutes. Treat this as a short exam only, and almost half the time is gone. 6 minutes are gone, so we are only left with 6 minutes. Right after that, I'll be giving you the answers and the solutions. 4 more minutes, students. 8 minutes are gone. 4 more minutes. Go for as many questions as possible. 3 more minutes, students. Only 3 minutes. And those who have just joined shall try to do at least 3 questions out of it. Because obviously all six are not possible now. Two more minutes, students. Last 2 minutes, I would say. I think we should wrap up, students. Let me give you the answers now, and let's go to the solutions. Okay. All right. Time's up. Let's go to the solutions. Okay. So the answer for question number one is just a second. Yeah. So the answer for question number one is 36.5. The answer for question number two is 665. The answer for question number three is 35. The answer for question number four is um, just a second. So it would be B plus 4. Question number 5, the answer is 29.68. Question number 7, the answer is 117. Okay. You should have got at least, okay, you should have got at least 4 correct out of these 6. And if you have got 4 correct out of these 6, so then you can say that you are on a right track of your progression. Okay. Yeah. So Nandalal, let me check your answers. The first is correct. The third is also correct. The fourth is also correct. And the sixth is, yeah. So sixth is also correct. So were you not able to solve the question number second and the question number fifth? In fact, question number second and question number fifth are easier than what you have solved. Okay. So, question number one says that the mean of the 50 observations was 36. It was found later that an observation 48 was wrongly taken as 23. So, out of these 50 observations, one observation was 23, but that data was wrong. So, we should correct the data to 48, and then we have to find the updated mean. We have to find the updated mean of all the 50 numbers, right? So if one of the observation among those 50 number is 23, right? So can we write a1 plus a2 up to a49 plus 23? A1, A2 up to A49 are the 49 other observations, and one observation is 23. When this complete is divided by, I thought it'll take more time than I thought to skip it. Okay, it's all right. So when these 50 numbers are divided by 50, so whatever the average was, yeah, it is given that the average was 36. Initially, the average of the 50 numbers, which comprises of this 23 also, was 36. Okay. Now, if this 23 is removed and the correct number is put here in place of this 23, then what would be the change in mean, or then what would be the corrected mean? That's what we have to calculate. So we actually have to calculate A1 plus A2 up to A49 plus uh, plus 48. So we have changed the number 23 to 48 divided by 5, divided by 50. This is what we have to calculate. So to calculate this, what we can do is we can take the value of A1 to A49 from the first equation. So the value of A1 to A49 from the first equation would be equal to 50 into 36 minus 23. 50 into 36 minus 23. Right, this is the value of A1 to A49, the sum of A1 to A49. Just put it in this expression and you will get the answer. If you put this in this expression, so this will be changed to 50 into 36 minus 23 plus 48 divided by 50. Okay. Now you don't need to multiply it actually. You will not be needed to multiply it. Why? Because 50 into 36 minus 23 plus 20 plus 48 will give you plus 25 divided by 50. Right. Now, if you separate this, so this would be 50 into 36 divided by 50 plus 25 by 50. So this would be 36, this would be 0.5, the answer would be 36.5. This is the way question number 1 would have been done. Correct? Yeah. So although there is a very short method to solve this question, there is actually a very short method to solve this question, right? By using that short method, you will not be needed to actually write anything. You will just see the data and you can just solve it. But the problem is, to make you understand that concept, I need a complete class. I need a complete class of average. The red portion, okay. So red portion is that mean of the average of the 50 observations was 36, and out of this one observation 23 should have been 48. This was wrong. This should have been 48. So in the red portion, I have written A1 plus A2 up to A49. These are the 49 observations, and plus the 50th observation, which is 23, divided by 50 is the average of these 50 observations, is equal to 36. This average is given as 36. No? So this is what is given, and this is what we have to determine. A1, A2 up to A49 plus 48 divided by 40. This is what we have to determine. Right. So you can put the values and get the answer. So I hope this is done. In case students you're not able to understand anything, because see, obviously it has to be a live assessment and short assessment session, and it's because it's live, so I can't repeat a concept again and again. The recording would be available to you as soon as the session ends, so you can, if a concept is not clear to you, you can ask it, you can see it again and again. Okay, question number 1 is done. Let's go to the question number 2. So question number 2 says a team of eight person joins in a shooting competition. uh, Bad English in this, I should say that in should not be there. A team of 8 person joins a shooting competition. The best marksman scored 85 points. So one of them has scored 85 points. Out of these 8, one of them has scored 85 points. If he had scored 92 points, then the average score for the team would have been 84. So if instead of this 85, he would have scored 92, then the average score would have been 84. This is what they are saying. So let us assume the 8 person which are doing the competition are A1, A2 up to A7 plus the best one, 85. Correct? A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7 plus 8, 85. If I divide it by 8, so that will give you the average of the previous average, the previous average of the team. Correct? Now, if this person had scored 92 points instead of 85, so then the average would have been 84. So A1 plus A2 plus up to A7 plus, if instead of this 85 we had 92. Yeah, Rochelle saying something. I think you have just joined, so let me give you a brief. This is a live, this is a short assessment session in which some questions are being given, some time has been given to solve the questions, and then the solutions are being determined. So this is the phase when I am solving the question. The assessment part is gone, right? So if you want to do it, you can have a recording. You can watch the recording of this session. It will be available to you as soon as the session ends, right? And then you can treat this as a live session only, and you can solve the questions. Okay, so the average of the 8 marksmen was suppose capital A. If the best among them scores 92 instead of 85, the average would have been the average would have been 84. The average would have been 84. This is what they are saying. Correct. So we have to calculate the number of points scored by the team. So we actually have to calculate the value of 8A, the total number of points scored by the team. So we have to calculate the value of 8A. Remember, we don't have to calculate the value of uh, the average, the average of all these 8 numbers. We just have to calculate the sum of all these 8 numbers, right? So how will you do that? How will you do it? You just put the value of A1 to A7 from the second equation in the first. So from the second equation, the value of A1 to A7 will be equal to the value of A1 to A7 will be equal to 84 into 8 minus 92. Correct? You can solve it also. So 84 into 8 minus 92. Put this into the first equation. So 84 into 8 minus 92 plus 85 is equal to 8A. And remember, we have to calculate the value of 8A, not A, not A alone, right? So keep this 8A as it is, or maybe you can write it as S, sum of all the numbers. So you just have to calculate this value. If you calculate correctly, it will come as 665. I expect you to do it yourself. Yeah, I don't want to spoon feed you on the calculation part also. Okay. So I hope question number second is done. In case you have any issue, you can repeat the video. You can watch the second question again and again. Okay, question number third. It says that the in a cricket 11, the average of all 11 players is 28. So all 11 players, the average of all 11 players is 28. This would be processed later. Out of these, the average of three groups of three players each is are 25, 28, and 30. So that means three players have their average as 25, the other three players have the average as 28, the other three players have the average as 30, and still we are remaining with two players. So the captain and the youngest player are not included, and captain is 11 years older than the youngest player, right? So overall, we have A1, A2, right? Let us sum this because we have been given the average of the complete team also. So A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5 plus A6 plus A7 plus A8 plus A9, right? These are the nine players. Apart from these nine players, there is a captain and there is a youngest player which is 11 years younger than the captain. Correct. So here we have the all the 11 players in our bracket. Okay. When this complete is divided by 11, so it comes as 28. This is what question is saying, right? In a cricket 11, the average of all 11 players is 28 years. So this value is given as 28 years. Now, the average ages of three groups of three players each is 25, 28, and 30. So that means we can say that A1 plus A2 plus A3 divided by 3 is equal to 25. A4 plus A5 plus A6 divided by 3 is equal to 28, and A7 plus A8 plus A9 divided by 3 is equal to 30, right? The average of the three groups of three people is given as 25, 28, and 30. This is what they are saying. Okay. So what do you need to do? You need to take the value of A1, A2, A3 as 25 into 3. Take the value of A4, A5, A6 as 28 into 3. And take the value of A7, A8, A9 as 30 into 3. And put all these into the initial equation. That's it. And you are done. Okay. So 25, if this becomes 25 into 3 plus this becomes 28 into 3 plus this becomes 30 into 3 plus C minus 11 plus C minus 11 divided by 11 is equal to 28. So you just have to solve this equation, and I hope that this would be done. Okay. Yeah. Whatever it is, this equation you have to solve yourself. I'll not solve it. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead to the fourth question. Okay. So the fourth question is that the average of five consecutive integers starting with A is B. Okay, five consecutive integers starting with A. So A plus 1, A plus 2, A plus 3, and A plus 4. Five consecutive integers starting with A are these. What is their average? So there is a there is a subtopic in averages in which I generally teach the average of an AP. The average of an AP. So if you had been my student, if someone of you is my student, so he must know that the average of all these five is simply the middlemost number, A plus 2. So the average of all five numbers is the middlemost number, A plus 2, and the value is given as B. The average of five consecutive integers starting with A is given as B. Right. Now we have to calculate the average of nine consecutive integers starting with A plus 2. Starting with A plus 2 means starting with B. Starting with A plus 2 means starting with B. Correct. So that would be B plus 1, B plus 2, nine consecutive integers starting with B. So this will go up to B plus 8. This will go up to B plus 8. Correct. So we have to calculate the average of this number, all these numbers, right? Right. So if you don't know the shortcut, so you just have to add all these and divide it by 9. That's the that's the traditional way of doing this, right? But the short way of doing this is the average of the first and the last number. That's it. So b plus b plus 8 divided by 2. Simply the answer would be b plus 4. Okay, which is there in the option. So these short tricks are actually being told when you reach the when you are taught the chapter average as a complete chapter, right? Because this is just a live assessment, so I'm being a bit fast. Okay, so question number fourth is done. Question number fifth is also very easy. Question number 5 says that the average of 50 numbers is 30. So, whenever you have any doubt, you should write as many things as possible. Don't hesitate to write the equation, write the equations. Okay. So A1 plus A2 up to A50 was given as 30, right? If the two numbers 35 and 40 are discarded, so actually two numbers among these 50 numbers are already given, 35 and 40. So what we have to do is we have to take the series up to 48, and the 49th number is 35, the 50th number is 40. Correct. So when all the numbers were included, the average was coming as 30. When the all 50 numbers were included, the average was coming as 30. Correct. Now the question is saying that if these two numbers are discarded, if these two numbers are discarded, then the average, then what would be the average of the remaining numbers? This is what the question is. So if these two numbers are discarded, so we actually have to calculate the value of A1 plus A2 up to A48 divided by 50, divided by 48, because now there are only 48 numbers. So this is the value that we have to calculate. Okay. So if you solve the first equation, so this would be A1 plus A2 up to A48 plus 75, 35 plus 40 is 75, is equal to 30 into 50. 30 into 50, right? So from here you'll get the value of A1 plus A2 up to A48 as 30 into 40, 1500 minus 75. Correct. You put it here and divide it by 48, you will get the answer. I hope this you can do. From now onwards, from this point onwards, you can do. Just put the value of the numerator as 1425 divided by 48. Your answer is there. Okay. Right. Last question. Last question is 9% went to a hotel for taking their meals. 8 of them spent 12 each. So 8 of them actually spent 12 each. So total money spent by the first 8%. The total money spent by first 8% is 8 into 12. Correct? Okay. And the ninth spent 8 more than the average expenditure of all 9. The ninth spent 8 more than the average expenditure of all 9. Now, this point is very crucial in this question. This point. Because if this was not 9, if this was 8, so we would have written the ninth, the value of the ninth person as simply 20. Because the average expenditure of all 8% is 12, and the ninth has spent 8 more than the average expenditure of all 9, right? So this is 20, but 8 is not here. The word written here is 9. So how does that affects our answer? Okay, so if 9 is written here, so we don't actually know the average expenditure of all 9. Okay, so we have to assume that average expenditure of all 9 people. So the ninth one has spent 8 more than the average expenditure of all 9. So average expenditure of all 9 plus 8. This is the expense of the ninth person. Correct? So this gives us the sum of the expenditure of all people. But if I divide it by 8, sorry, if I divide it by 9, so shouldn't it give us the average expenditure of all 9? Of course it should. So when 8 into 12 is multiplied, and then the ninth person, the expense of the ninth person is added, so we get the sum of the expenditure of all 9 people. When this is divided by 9, we get the average expenditure of all 9 people. Correct? So by solving this, you have to calculate the average expenditure of all 9 people, right? Then you again have to multiply this with 9. You have to multiply this with 9 because we have to find the total money spent by them, right? Let me try to solve it. So this would be 8 into 12 plus a9 plus 8 is equal to 9 a9, right? So take this a9 on the right hand side, so this would be minus a9. Okay, so 8 into 12 plus 8 would be equal to 9 a9 into a9. Correct? So if you solve the right hand side, it would come as 8 into 12. 8 into 12, just a second. 8 into 12 is 96, and plus 8 is 104. Okay, I think have we done something wrong or what? 13, the yeah, I think we are doing correct. So this would be 8 a9, right? So we will get the value of a9, average expenditure of all 9 people, as 13. Yeah. So we will get the average expenditure of all 9 people as 13, but we don't want the average expenditure. We want the total money spent by them. So total money has to be 9 into a9. So that would be 13 into 9, which is 117. So that's how we reach the answer of this question. All right. So students, if you are able to solve at least 4 questions out of these 6, so you can consider yourself on a right track. Your progress is pretty good. Okay. All right. So maybe in the upcoming 2-3 days only, we will have the next session on live assessment this time. Okay, so that would be all from my side in this assessment, right? See you in the next video after maybe 2-3 days. All right, good night, bye bye.